Welcome to the Self-Love Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Melanie Monaco, and I hold certifications in intuitive eating, integrative nutrition, feminine energy healing, yoga, and more. My mission is simple: to help women transform their bodies and lives with self-love. I've worked with women all over the world and learned a lot along the way, and I am so excited to share it all with you here. This is a wellness-centric, motivational, and transformational podcast that will give you the tools you need to cultivate more self-love through nutrition, movement, mindset, personal development, spirituality, and beyond. I'm so grateful to have you here. Now let's do this. Today, we are going to be talking about how to be healthier in the new year, specifically 3 easy ways to be healthier in the new year. And I know this time of year can be crazy. So many of us want to be healthier, want to develop healthier habits. And it's a great time of year to do it because it feels like we're turning a new leaf over. We have a new year. This one is a new decade. So there's a lot of reasons why many of us want to start new and develop different habits and feel differently. And today I'm going to share 3 easy ways to make that happen. So if you are looking to be healthier, if you're looking to feel more confident, if you're looking to feel lighter, feel radiant, feel energized, then this is going to be perfect for you. So my first easy tip to feel healthier in the new year is to drop the all or nothing ideology around your resolutions. So maybe you're looking at 2020 and a really common one I hear is, I'm going to give up all carbs. I'm going to give up all sugar. And the problem that I have with this, it's not that I don't think we should have less sugar and less refined carbohydrates. It really comes down to the mentality that gives you. Because then you end up demonizing that thing. And let's look at like little kids, so often we give a little kid a treat and then we're like, okay, no more, you can't have any more sugar. And that's all that they want then. That's all they can think about. And when we restrict food, it ends up creating a physiological response for us because it kicks in a survival instinct that makes us then start thinking more about food. It makes us start thinking more about craving things, and we start obsessing, and then you end up falling off the wagon. And because only 8% of New Year's resolutions actually happen and only 97% of diets fail, though that kind of all or nothing mentality really doesn't work. So instead of I'm going to totally give up sugar. And I think, limiting sugar can be a really good thing for so many of us because it can create a lot of inflammation in the body. And I've noticed a big difference since I've had less sugar, but it wasn't through restricting. It was through listening to my body. But it's a hard bridge to cross, I think, to then just be like, okay, I'm going to listen to my body. That's hard for so many people who aren't yet intuitive eaters, who've struggled with diet cycles. So a really easy way to get there is to practice the 80-20. And the 80-20 idea, the 80-20 lifestyle, let's say, is essentially 80% of the time you choose body nourishing foods. So those are the foods that make you feel energized, healthy, that make you feel light, that don't leave you with digestive distress, that don't leave you with any sort of brain fog. For me, those are plant foods, so fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds. But it looks different for everyone. For other people, that can include animal protein, might even include dairy, but not everyone. So definitely just figure out what works for you. Notice how you feel before, during, and after a meal. And take note of that and then figure out, okay, what kind of foods do my body thrive on? And does my body thrive on? And 80% of the time, choose those body nourishing foods. Then 20% of the time, you get to choose soul nourishing foods. Soul nourishing foods are the foods that nourish your soul. So those are the family dinners. Those are, that's like having a really decadent hot chocolate with your best friend. That's your grandmother's homemade cookie recipe. You know, those kinds of things that maybe aren't so body nourishing, that maybe won't leave you feeling super energized and light, and that if you ate them all the time would probably cause digestive distress, would probably cause inflammation in the body. That could mean breakouts, it could mean excess weight, you know, it could lead to a variety of symptoms. So it's not that you shouldn't eat those, it's that they're soul nourishing foods. Now with this 80-20%, I don't recommend having you write everything out and chart it out like a diet. It's really more of a mentality. It gives you permission to enjoy the food. And if it doesn't nourish your body, and it doesn't nourish your soul, then there's no reason for you to eat it. So it makes eliminating food that you're eating for no reason easier, because it's that mindless coping mechanism of just snacking because that really causes a lot of problems. So 80% of the time, body nourishing foods. Yes, I'm seeing heart eyes. People are loving this. Good. 80% of the time, body nourishing food. 20% of the time, soul nourishing food. So that's my first tip. My second one, and it goes right into this, is that you have to also, when you're looking at becoming healthier, you have to also look at your whole life. So it's not just how you're treating your body. In my programs, we use what I call the circle of self-love, which I borrowed from my nutrition school. They have a circle of life, and I call it the circle of self-love. And it shows all of the different pillars that complete your life. So it's things like relationships and social life, things like your creativity, education, spirituality and mindfulness, movement, home cooking, and really just all of the elements that make up your day-to-day life, who you are. And we look at this big circle that includes all of the different areas of your life, and then you figure out, okay, what areas are lacking? Am I lacking in my social life? What can I do to bring that up? Because the deal is, you could eat only kale and quinoa and exercise endlessly and you won't be happy or healthy if you're not also nourishing your soul and looking at the entirety of your life. So if you're looking at 2020 wanting to be healthier, then I really recommend not only looking at your body, not only looking at how you're treating yourself physically, but also what's happening emotionally and mentally. And look at all of the different components of who you are, your career, yes, hi Julie, Julie's loving this. Looking at your career, your spirituality, and see where you can up level. What do you need to do to fill your cup? Because the thing is, if you're not filling your cup, then you won't have anything to give. And we can look at energy, like our personal energy and what we're able to offer others, as like a cup, right? Let's visualize it together. And let's say that you're continually pouring out of the cup. So you're showing up to your best friend's birthday party, you're going above and beyond at work. Oh, Julie. Julie says, this is one of the most important lessons you taught me. Yay. Yes, Julie just graduated the Self-Love Lifestyle Signature Program. She's amazing. Congratulations, Julie. If anybody's watching, they should congratulate Julie. So they're pouring out of their cups, and you're going above and beyond at work. You're going above and beyond in your social life. You're showing up for your relationships. But if your cup is then empty, you have nothing else to give, and you have nothing for yourself. And eventually, if you're pouring from an empty cup, you'll have nothing to give. You won't be able to show up for the people and things that you love and value. So you have to fill your cup. So in this next year, if you're looking at being healthier, look at how you can fill your personal cup. Look at, okay, of course, eating healthy and moving are great. Oh, yay, people are congratulating Julie. Of course, being healthy, eating well, moving is great, but you also need to nourish your soul. So look at your life. Where in your life can you show up and fill your cup? What are those things for you? And that's what self-care is. And self-care is the best gift you can give to yourself and others, because you can show up so much better in your life for the things and people that you love when you are loving yourself, when you're taking care of yourself. So that was my second tip. Nourish your body, nourish your soul. The third tip is about movement. This is something that so many of my clients, it's a really, they hit a wall in my programs where they're like, okay, I got the food thing down, I'm nourishing my body, I'm nourishing my soul, but like exercise still feels like a chore. How do I get to that place where I want to work out? Because it's so good for, like, movement is the best thing we can do for our health. And I mean, drinking water is also really good, but it's one of the best things you can do for your health. It's definitely the best thing you can do for your longevity. So how can we find joy in movement? That's really what it comes down to. And you have to reframe movement instead of looking at it like, I have to do this to look a certain way. Really, next time you go for a walk, you do some stretching, you go to a class, and I encourage you to just start exploring different things and ask yourself, where can I find joy in this? And remember that. Ask yourself, how do I feel before, during, and after, and where does joy live in that? And the more that you practice finding joy in movement, the more you'll crave movement, the more you'll do it, and then the healthier you'll be. So that was my third tip, finding joy in movement. The other thing about movement, and if you don't already know, I am an energy healer, specifically in the Moon Mother tradition, and there's energy centers in our bodies that carry emotions. And this is like, you can look at this in the chakra system, in all over the world, and in different traditions and ideologies, people have believed that we have energy centers in our bodies. And there's actually a mapping of emotions done by scientists. You should just Google emotion mapping after you're done watching this video. And they show where emotions live in the body, and how it's common among so many people. So we experience, heartbreak, right? Like you feel that in your chest. And when you experience happiness, you feel your face light up. And, when you experience rage, maybe you feel, heat on your head, like hot-headed. Like all of these things come from real experiences, right? So the other thing about movement is that you get to know where you store emotion in your body. And if you can then access the more pleasant emotions just through feeling it in your body, and you can also transform the unpleasant emotions to become pleasant emotions if you are aware of where it's sitting in your body. So let's say you're stressed out and you feel your shoulders tense up and you feel your brow furrows, then, okay, how am I feeling this in my body? How can I access joy right now? And you relax your shoulders. And how do we experience joy? It's very open-hearted, right? And it's, your chin is up, your heart is open, shoulders are back, it's a feeling of confidence, of trust, all of those things. And just by doing that physically, and breathing differently, a lot of that has to do with breath too. The way you hold your body changes the way you breathe. So if you're opening things up, you're breathing freely, your emotions will shift too. A really great example of how I experience this, and this is a joke I have with my husband. When I get cold, I get excited. And it's not that I don't particularly love being cold, though I did just move to Maine, but I start to feel really excited because I'm like, when you're like slightly shaking when you're cold and you're like, trying to heat your body's temperature up. And that feeling to me is how I feel when I'm excited. So when I'm in really cold weather, my husband will be like, are you cold and excited? And that's a really perfect example of how your body just acting a certain way can change how you feel. So I encourage you in the new year to find joy in movement and to really look at experiencing emotion in your body. And that will change the way you move and exercise as well. And all of this will change the way you treat your body. And so when you feel good, you're going to start treating your body better. And when you feel good, you look good. So it is really all about the feeling. It's about getting in tune. So I'm going to reiterate the 3 easy tips for being healthier in the new year. The first one is to not do an all or nothing resolution. Practice the 80-20 lifestyle. 80% of the time body nourishing foods, 20% of the time soul nourishing foods. And you can practice that for really any habit. And focus really on it bringing you pleasure. And with the soul nourishing foods, it really is about the experience. It's not about numbing emotion. It's not about avoiding emotion. It's about experiencing the joy of being a human being. And body nourishing foods focus on how good it makes you feel physically and mentally, and therefore emotionally too. The next one, tip number 2, nourish your body and nourish your soul, and look at all of the areas of your life. It's not just what you're eating or how you're moving, it's also what you're doing in your career, your relationships, and so on and so forth. And see how you can fill your own cup energetically. What activities can you do to make sure that you're showing up as your best self in your life for all of the people and things that you love? And then tip number 3 is to find joy in movement and experience where you hold emotions in your body so that you can get to know your body better and really enjoy the expression that movement is. So if any of this resonates with you, let me know. And also, we're going to be implementing all 3 of these things in my upcoming program, 30 Days to Healthy and Confident. Julie's familiar with that too. Julie was in that program too when I did the beta group. And the beta group was so mind-blowing. The results were incredible. I've so many clients I've talked to since then, and their lives have changed. And if you want to start off the new year with the intention of feeling healthier and confident without dieting, without over-exercising, without restricting anything, then this is for you. You get an 8-chapter guide that takes you through everything you need to know about intuitive eating, integrative nutrition, mindful movement, energy healing, and more. Everything that you need to feel amazing and radiant in the new year. And then you also get a private Facebook group with the other women in the group. And these groups have been so amazing, filled with such incredible women. And some of these women continue from program to program to program. So I can tell you and promise you, if you're considering signing up for the program, that this group is going to be incredible. Then the next one is once weekly coaching calls with me. So you get individualized direct support from me as you implement everything you're learning in the guide, everything you're discussing with the group, so that you can really start 2020 feeling really supported, feeling really cared for, so that you can learn all of the things you need to do, like learn what kind of food your body thrives on, learn really what fills your cup, how to balance the time and money and all of the things you need to do to really take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. It really is all about priorities. And if you're ready to make yourself, if you're ready to make you a priority, this is going to be perfect for you. Okay, Julie just said, back with emotional energy setters. She said, realizing that my ears and head feel incredibly hot when I'm stressed was a game changer, because so few things in life actually warrant that level of stress. It's a great signal that I need to step back and get some perspective. Not sponsored, just a happy client. Calls with Melanie literally changed my life. Oh, Julie. Julie, you're so sweet. I'm going to shout out Julie. If anybody is a knitter, if anybody works with yarn, check out her Etsy shop. They're gorgeous yarn colors. And then also her weavings. If you want the boho dream house of your life, definitely just get her weavings. They're stunning, beautiful, influenced by nature and magic. So check out Sweet Sparrow Knits. Yes, of course, Julie. And also, Julie, I'm going to be launching a podcast episode that Julie came on pretty soon, within the next couple days. So definitely keep your eyes and ears out for that. Those who are rewatching this, and you'll be able to hear all about her experience in the self-love lifestyle, how she built and manages her business. She's a small business owner, killing the game, doing amazing. Yeah. All right, friends. So definitely sign up for 30 Days to Healthy and Confident if you're ready to start 2020 as the best version of yourself, feeling amazing, feeling radiant, without any of the restriction, without any of the toxic diet industry BS. This is a total game changer, and I would absolutely love to see you in the program. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. Signups close next week on January 2nd. The program starts January 3rd and runs for 30 days. So you have a little bit of time, but not that much time. So think about it. Head over to MelanieMonaco.com or the link in my bio. It's MelanieMonaco.com, and you can read all about the program, what everything entails, all about who I am, what I do. For the long and short of it is that I am certified in integrative nutrition, intuitive eating, yoga, fitness, feminine energy healing, and more. And I help women all over the world transform their bodies and lives with self-love. Really, it starts with you. It starts with the mind. It starts with how you're talking to yourself, what you feel about yourself. Because when you're loving yourself, it's so much easier to cultivate these healthy habits. So this is going to be a transformational program. I'd love to have you in there, and I will talk to you all soon. I'll be back tomorrow for another live. In the meantime, if anybody has any requests, any questions, anything you want me to talk about in these live sessions, you can always let me know. I am here to serve you. I'm showing up for you. So I definitely want to hear from you so that I can support you best. All right, friends. Thank you for hopping on live. Julie, it was so good to see you. Type in, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. And for the rest of you who are watching, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Mwah! If you felt inspired or moved by what you heard today, then be sure to leave a rating and review. I would love to hear what you're vibing with so I can create more incredible content to help you transform your life with self-love. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at The Self-Love Lifestyle, on Facebook at The Self-Love Lifestyle, and you can also sign up for my mailing list and find free downloads, resources, and more at MelanieMonaco.com. That's MelanieMonaco.com. And be sure to subscribe to the Self-Love Lifestyle podcast so you never miss an episode. I'll see you next week, my love.